Welcome. Today we're diving into one of the most influential tools in strategic management, Porter's Five Forces Framework. Developed by Michael E. Porter in 1979, this model helps businesses analyze the competitive environment of their industry. By understanding these forces, companies can craft strategies that leverage their strengths and address potential threats. Whether you're a student, a manager, or simply curious about business strategy, this framework offers valuable insights. Let's start by exploring what the five forces are and why they matter in shaping a company's long-term success. Porter's Five Forces framework was introduced in Michael Porter's groundbreaking book, Competitive Strategy. The model was designed to help organizations understand the structure of their industry and the underlying levers of profitability. Porter argued that competition goes beyond direct rivals and includes other forces that influence the market. By systematically analyzing these forces, businesses can identify opportunities and threats, making more informed strategic decisions. This framework remains a cornerstone in business education and practice worldwide. Five Forces framework consists of five key elements: the threat of new entrants, the bargaining power of suppliers, the bargaining power of buyers, the threat of substitute products or services, and the intensity of competitive rivalry. Each force examines a different aspect of the competitive landscape, providing a comprehensive view of the factors that affect industry profitability. By evaluating these forces, companies can better understand their position in the market and develop strategies to improve their competitive advantage. First force, the threat of new entrants, refers to how easy or difficult it is for new competitors to enter an industry. When entry barriers are low, new firms can quickly join the market, increasing competition and potentially reducing profits for existing players. Barriers to entry can include factors like high startup costs, strict regulations, strong brand identities, or access to distribution channel. Companies often seek to raise these barriers to protect their market share and maintain profitability. Barriers to entry are obstacles that make it challenging for new companies to enter an industry. These can include economies of scale, where established firms have cost advantages, or access to proprietary technology and patents. Government policies, capital requirements, and customer loyalty also play significant roles. By understanding these barriers, businesses can assess the likelihood of new competitors emerging and adjust their strategies accordingly to maintain their competitive edge. Second force, the bargaining power of suppliers, examines how much influence suppliers have over the price and quality of materials or services. If there are few suppliers or if they offer unique products, they can demand higher prices or impose strict terms. This can squeeze the profitability of companies that rely on those suppliers. On the other hand, if there are many suppliers or alternative sources, companies have more negotiating power and can secure better deals. Let's look at an example. In the tech industry, companies that rely on a single supplier for critical components, like microchips, may face higher costs if that supplier raises prices. Conversely, industries with many suppliers, such as agriculture, often see lower supplier power. Understanding this dynamic helps businesses develop strategies, such as diversifying their supplier base or negotiating long-term contracts, to reduce risks and maintain profitability. Third force is the bargaining power of buyers. This force looks at how much influence customers have over pricing and terms. When buyers are few but purchase in large volumes, or when products are standardized, buyers can demand lower prices or higher quality. Companies must find ways to differentiate their offerings or build customer loyalty to reduce buyer power and protect their margins. Consider the automotive industry, where large car manufacturers purchase parts from suppliers. Because these manufacturers buy in bulk, they can negotiate better prices and terms. In contrast, industries with many small buyers like retail often see less buyer power. By understanding buyer dynamics, companies can tailor their marketing and sales strategies to strengthen their position and maintain profitability. Fourth force, the threat of substitutes, refers to the availability of alternative products or services that can meet the same customer needs. When substitutes are readily available and affordable, customers may switch, putting pressure on prices and profitability. Companies must monitor trends and innovations to anticipate potential substitutes and adapt their offerings to stay competitive. For example, in the beverage industry, soft drinks face competition from bottled water, juices, and energy drinks. As consumer preferences shift, companies must innovate and diversify their product lines to retain customers. By identifying potential substitutes early, businesses can adjust their strategies and maintain their market position. Fifth and final force is the intensity of competitive rivalry. This force examines how fiercely companies compete within an industry. High rivalry often leads to price wars, increased marketing costs, and pressure on profits. Factors influencing rivalry include the number of competitors, industry growth rate, and product differentiation. Companies must find ways to stand out and build loyal customer bases to thrive in highly competitive markets. Take the fast food industry as an example. With many players offering similar products, companies compete aggressively on price, quality, and convenience. This intense rivalry forces businesses to continuously innovate and improve their offerings. Understanding the level of rivalry helps companies develop strategies to differentiate themselves and capture market share. It's important to note that Porter's five forces are interconnected. A change in one force can influence the others. For example, new entrants may increase rivalry, or powerful buyers may encourage the emergence of substitutes. By analyzing all five forces together, companies gain a holistic understanding of their industry and can make more informed strategic decisions. To use Porter's five forces effectively, companies should regularly assess each force in their industry. This involves gathering data, analyzing trends, and identifying changes in the competitive landscape. By doing so, businesses can anticipate threats, seize opportunities, and adjust their strategies to maintain a strong market position. Supply the five forces to the airline industry. Entry barriers are high due to capital requirements and regulations. Suppliers like aircraft manufacturers have significant power. Buyers or passengers can compare prices easily, increasing their power. Substitutes such as trains or cars exist but may not always be practical. Rivalry is intense with many airlines competing for customers. This analysis helps airlines develop strategies to remain competitive. In the technology sector, barriers to entry can be low, especially for software startups. Supplier power varies, but buyers often have many choices, increasing their bargaining power. Substitutes emerge rapidly due to innovation, and rivalry is fierce as companies race to launch new products. Applying the five forces helps tech firms anticipate changes and adapt quickly. Retail is another industry where the five forces are at play. Entry barriers are relatively low, leading to frequent new entrants. Suppliers have limited power due to the abundance of options. Buyers have significant power, especially with online shopping. Substitutes are plentiful and rivalry is intense. Retailers must constantly innovate and differentiate to succeed. Porter's Five Forces offers several benefits. It provides a structured approach to analyzing industry dynamics, helps identify opportunities and threats, and support strategic planning. By understanding the competitive forces, companies can make better decisions about entering new markets, investing in innovation, or defending their market position. While powerful, the Five Forces framework has limitations. It focuses mainly on industry structure and may overlook internal company strengths or weaknesses. It also assumes relatively stable markets, which may not hold true in rapidly changing industries. Companies should use the framework alongside other tools like SWOT analysis for a more complete strategic assessment. Get the most out of strategic analysis. Companies often combine Porter's Five Forces with other frameworks. Tools like SWOT analysis, PESDEL analysis, and value chain analysis provide additional perspectives on internal capabilities, external factors, and operational efficiency. Using multiple tools ensures a well-rounded understanding of the business environment. In fast-changing industries, the five forces must be revisited frequently. Technological advances, regulatory shifts, and changing consumer preferences can quickly alter the competitive landscape. Companies that regularly update their analysis are better positioned to respond to new challenges and opportunities. Globalization has increased the complexity of industry competition. Companies now face rivals from around the world, and supply chains span multiple countries. Porter's Five Forces can help businesses understand these global dynamics and develop strategies to compete internationally. Digital transformation is reshaping industries. Online platforms, e-commerce, and digital marketing have changed how companies interact with customers and competitors. The Five Forces framework helps businesses assess how digital trends affect each force and adapt their strategies for the digital age. Innovation can disrupt entire industries, creating new substitutes or lowering barriers to entry. Companies that foster a culture of innovation are better equipped to respond to disruptive changes. The Five Forces framework helps identify where innovation may have the greatest impact and guides companies in adapting proactively. Government regulations can significantly influence the five forces. Regulations may raise barriers to entry, affect supplier or buyer power, or limit substitutes. Companies must stay informed about regulatory changes and incorporate them into their strategic analysis to avoid surprises and maintain compliance. Sustainability is becoming increasingly important in strategic management. Environmental concerns can create new barriers to entry, influence buyer preferences, and drive innovation. Companies that prioritize sustainability can differentiate themselves and build long-term competitive advantages. Focusing on customer needs is essential for reducing buyer power and building loyalty. Companies that deliver exceptional value, personalized experiences, and strong customer service can differentiate themselves and reduce the risk of losing customers to competitors or substitutes. Building strong relationships with suppliers can help companies negotiate better terms, ensure quality, and reduce risks. Strategic partnerships, long-term contracts, and collaborative innovation can all strengthen a company's position within the Five Forces framework. Monitoring competitors is crucial for understanding the intensity of rivalry and anticipating strategic moves. Companies that invest in competitive intelligence can identify emerging threats, spot opportunities, and stay one step ahead in the market. The business environment is constantly evolving. Companies that regularly update their Five Forces analysis and adapt their strategies are more likely to succeed. Flexibility, innovation, and a proactive mindset are essential for staying competitive in dynamic markets. Netflix is a great example of a company using the Five Forces framework. The company faced intense rivalry from traditional TV and new streaming services. By investing in original content and technology, Netflix reduced the threat of substitutes and built customer loyalty. Their strategic use of the Five Forces helped them become a global leader in entertainment. Apple's success can also be analyzed through the Five Forces. The company maintains high entry barriers through innovation, brand strength, and a loyal customer base. Supplier power is managed through strategic partnerships, while buyer power is reduced by offering unique, high-quality products. Apple's approach demonstrates the practical value of the framework. Amazon operates in a highly competitive retail environment. The company uses scale, technology, and logistics to raise entry barriers and reduce supplier and buyer power. By constantly innovating and expanding its offerings, Amazon stays ahead of rivals and adapts to changing market conditions. Tesla's entry into the automotive industry disrupted traditional players. The company overcame high entry barriers through innovation and brand differentiation. By controlling key technologies and supply chains, Tesla reduced supplier power and set new standards for substitutes. Their strategic use of the five forces has driven their rapid growth. Porter's five forces isn't just for large corporations. Small businesses can use the framework to identify local competitors, assess supplier and buyer relationships, and spot potential threats from substitutes. By understanding their unique position, small businesses can develop strategies to grow and thrive. Nonprofit organizations can also benefit from the five forces framework. By analyzing donor power, competition for funding, and the threat of alternative services, nonprofits can develop strategies to secure resources and achieve their missions more effectively. Porter's five forces is widely taught in business schools around the world. Students use the framework to analyze case studies, understand industry dynamics, and develop strategic thinking skills. Its practical application makes it a valuable tool for future business leaders. Consultants and advisors frequently use the five forces framework to help clients understand their competitive environment. By providing structured analysis and actionable recommendations, consultants enable businesses to make informed strategic decisions and improve performance. Since its introduction, Porter's five forces has evolved to address new challenges. Scholars and practitioners have adapted the framework to consider digital transformation, globalization, and sustainability. Its flexibility ensures it remains relevant in today's complex business environment. Integrating the five forces analysis into corporate strategy helps companies align their goals with market realities. By understanding industry dynamics, leaders can set realistic objectives, allocate resources effectively, and build sustainable competitive advantages. Looking ahead, Porter's five forces will continue to evolve as industries change. Emerging technologies, shifting consumer behaviors, and global challenges will shape how companies use the framework. Staying informed and adaptable will be key to leveraging its full potential. Sum up, Porter's five forces framework is a powerful tool for analyzing industry competition and shaping strategic decisions. By understanding the five forces, companies can identify opportunities, anticipate threats, and build strategies for long-term success. Regular analysis and adaptation are crucial for staying competitive in a changing world. Porter's five forces remains a foundational framework in strategic management. Its ability to provide a clear, structured view of industry competition makes it invaluable for businesses of all sizes. By applying the framework thoughtfully and regularly, companies can navigate challenges and seize new opportunities in their industries. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Porter's five forces framework. We hope you now have a deeper understanding of how to analyze industry competition and make strategic decisions. Remember, the business world is always changing, and staying informed is the key to success. Until next time, keep thinking strategically.